Hair all Corbin blue like shit. All in this together. What's up? My name is Ashley, and this is my thoughts about the stuff and things that went on AMC's The Walking Dead. Season 6, Episode 1, which is titled First Time Again, and Episode 2, JSS. Let's go. So I guess first we'll talk about the very much anticipated return of Morgan Jones. Now Morgan's return had been very anticipated for seasons on end. I pers I personally like the way the character Morgan has become, and it gives a different perspective about someone who's lived that strenuous life of being a killer and etc. etc. Um, and then they change their perspective. On it shifts, and I'm frankly am enjoying it. It seems like some fans are like kind of turning on Morgan. Was like, no, Morgan gotta go. All this and other, and I personally hope Morgan stays as long as possible because this show is not just some zombie apocalypse show. The show itself is a character study, and what kind of character study of a show if everybody was pretty much the same or had the same ideas and perspective? And that's one thing I love about this show is that it gives different perspectives. It shows different sides of things. It makes you think, or at least it should make you think and wonder. It's like, what if? And that's probably a question I'm probably gonna say throughout this video. It's like, what if? But I love the dynamic that Rick and Morgan showed in the premiere, and it showed that bond is still there, and that family, and they only seen each other, met like twice beforehand, in the first episode, and then when you came back in Clear. But there was always that connection between these two characters, and to see, I'm really gonna enjoy seeing it develop for a longer period of time than just a one-off episode here and a one-off episode there. So I'm really going to enjoy the way this is going to turn out. If they don't fuck it up, the writers can easily fuck all this up, and then it's like, don't do that because they fucked up some things in the past, and some things I don't fucking vibe with. In this not necessarily in this episode, but or the way something was written. The next episode is something the JSS episode, but I'll get to that. I didn't like the way the writers went about that. Yeah, Rick versus Carter, and I enjoyed that dynamic as well. On Talking Dead, it was said that Carter was pretty much supposed to be Rick if he was in Alexandria from the get go. If he didn't have to survive or come to live the lifestyle that he had to live in order to survive the way he did. So it makes sense that these two characters would clash. And I have to say, Carter did have a point. Reason being, a lot of people didn't like Carter. It's like, you gotta look, like I said, you look at it from his perspective. Because a lot of his shit he was said when he was talking about Rick, it's like, why should we trust you? What have you shown us to give us a reason to trust? Like, you've... Bad impression, bad impression. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like you waving in the middle of the street, bloodied face in street fight, and you're supposed to be our constable, and yet you're pointing the gun at the people you're supposed to be protecting. So why should I trust you? What makes you want to pull some stupid shit like that again? And like I was saying, I think I said in a video last season. I don't know if I did a video for it, discussing it or not. But I was saying how like Rick went about that whole shit the wrong way. It was a lot. That whole second half, Rick was not necessarily going about the wrong way. He just did shit that. Let me just say this: there are ways, and there are ways. Rick did not go about shit the right way last season, so now it's carrying over into this season the way people perceive him. Like Carter, and he has every right to perceive him that way because that's what he presented. So I can't blame Carter. And the thing I liked about Carter is that he did ask, he was asking the questions, what if, you know how Rick can be. He'd be like, this plan would work. This plan is going to work. My plan will work. And we've seen Rick fuck up. But, and Carter was pretty much, okay, but what if, but what if this, or what if that, what if, they get off the road, then we just, Rick's just like, we'll get him back on the road. And I can't do a Rick voice right now. I probably should have practiced it. But my point is, Carter was asking questions. And he should have. And I'm glad that he was, because nobody else was fucking doing it. It was like, oh, we're just going to follow the leader. Like, no, he was doing these what ifs. Which made Rick had to answer these questions. It was come to the point, you need to answer my questions. You can't just tell me what to do, and then when I present an alternative, and or say find that there's a hole in this situation, you can't just not fill that fucking hole and just be like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. Or what, like Rick last season did with Tyrese about the whole Beth and Carol rescue mission. This plan will work. The stealth mission that he tried to pull, but Tyrese hit him with the what if. If someone gets caught in the stealth mission, then suddenly this mission is not stealth anymore. So, and Rick he didn't have an answer for that. He just said, this plan will work. He just kept saying that shit. It was like, there's alternatives, and I don't think Rick really likes to hear alternatives from people, especially people he's not super close with. I think the person he will take the alternative from the most is Michonne. I think he'll listen to her alternatives more than anyone else's. And this is not me coming from a Rick and Michonne fan. This is just me watching their dynamic. Like, even with Daryl, I think Daryl, I'll get to Daryl in a second. Oh, well, fuck it. I'll get to Daryl right now. I guess I could talk about Daryl, because since he wasn't in the first episode. Thinking about Daryl, it's been a long time since I actually enjoyed Daryl. I haven't really been bumping Daryl since season 3. I know there's all these Daryl fanboys and fangirls and these Daryl fans, but let's be real. Daryl ain't really done shit but angst since season fucking 3. Season 3 after Merle, that's probably like the last good story he had, in my opinion. And I've had issue with Daryl because he kind of, I feel like his character can suck the life out of the story or something. It's like he's not doing anything. He's just there angsting, and just give him a good story, some character development. He hasn't done shit. Like, he had that little shit with Beth, or whatever the fuck that was. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that was. But it didn't even last long. It just was like a 2.5 second thing, so it wasn't anything that stuck to me. But I do believe there was character development with Daryl in the first episode. Here's why. And I think a lot of fans picked up on it. The thing about Daryl, he has this tendency to just go with whatever Rick says, even if he disagrees with it. Now, I think one fan I saw on Tumblr or something, she was like, I don't understand why these people was like, oh, Daryl's finally standing up for himself and all this. It's like, that's not the point that myself is making, or I believe other people make. We know Daryl can disagree with Rick and will say something. But the problem with Daryl is he doesn't stick to it. He still goes along with Rick says. And that's what I liked about Daryl in the premiere. He didn't just say his piece or just disagree and just follow Rick shit anyways. No, he came back and was like, yo, I think we need to have people in this group. I mean, we need more people in this community, and this is why. Because ... etc., 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 fucking rock. So that's why I appreciate it with Daryl, and I hope they stick with that with him. Like, give him, like, because Daryl has this tendency to come off like a fucking lapdog. Like, stop being this fucking fuckboy lapdog all the fucking time. The shit's not cool. Like, stand up and say some shit, and then stick with your shit. You know what I mean? like the Michonne thing in season 3. He didn't like that plan. He told Rick he didn't like that plan, and still he went along with the plan anyways. He didn't think that plan was okay. Even Herschel was like, all right, look, motherfucker, we can't do this shit. Cut it out. No. Like Daryl, like, tell Rick, like, no, this is not okay. Don't just be like, you know, I don't like this plan, but whatever. It's like, no, stick with your shit, Daryl. You stick with your shit, I can fuck with you some more. Come back. But I guess I could say another thing that bothers me with the character Dale in the past few seasons is that he's always kind of there. But like I said, I think I said this before actually, but he's not really doing shit. So it's like, dude, you're taking somebody else can have that spot at least, Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh, something that pissed me off with Rick. The situation with Pete's body really upset me because I felt that wasn't his fucking place. There's certain times where, like, I feel like Rick do shit where it's not his place to do shit. Like, that should not be your fucking call. That's not your fucking place. Like, him banishing Carol in season 4. Although I do not disagree with what he did or his reasoning for it, my thing was that should not have been his call. For one, he wasn't on the fucking council, so he should not have no say. Like, he could give an opinion, but he alone should not have made that decision, especially the fact that he was not on the council. But to him deciding that, oh, we don't bury killers in this motherfucker and all this other shit. It's like, first of all, you just got here. It's like, no. Like, don't do that. First of all, you're not considering the fact that Ron. I can't even get, Ron is acting like a little, but I understand why he's acting, because he's mad. Pete was a fucking asshole. I'm stuttering. Pete was a fucking asshole. But he still was those boys' father. That was Ron. That was his father. And he just got shot in the face. Someone comment down below and let me know if Sam and Ron was in at the meeting when that took place. Because if that was the case, it was like, Rick, wow, don't stop. Like, it's bad enough you shot Pete in the fucking head in front of everybody, which is another reason why people are like weary. But it's like, you did not hesitate to just shoot someone in the face and like not care. But it's another thing, like, my thing is, he should at least discuss that with Jesse. He didn't even discuss it with Deanna, who is technically the fucking leader of this community. This is why something like this, it was not his fucking place to say who gets to fucking get buried. Especially without discussing it with Deanna, and damn sure without discussing it with Jesse. Because that was her fucking husband, whether you like it or not. That was her fucking husband. That was the father of her fucking kids. Okay? And I understand Deanna, because, she just lost someone, so she's running on some fucked up emotions right now. So she's just going to follow behind Rick, whatever the fuck this motherfucker says, because her eyes open, but maybe I'll get to that in another video. But the fact that they took this man's body, yes, he was a fucking asshole, but they took this man's body probably like miles away and told no one. They didn't even tell Jesse where the fuck they was putting this man's body. The kids, I'm pretty sure these kids, they were abused by him, but I'm pretty sure at one point they would like to know where their father was buried. They could at least, like, even if they didn't want him buried in the community, they could have put it outside towards the edge of the woods or some shit. It did not have to be the way they did it. It didn't have to be it could have just been outside the community. So if, his son, or if Ron wanted to see his father, his father's grave at one point, then he should have been able to do that. He had that option to do that. It was not Rick's place. I think I rambled on this shit way too fucking long, worrying about Pete and Ron and that motherfucker. Rick. Also, I understand Ron's perspective, and I understand Jesse's perspective. Like, Rick, you coming off kind of creepy again. You opened her eyes about Pete. You open her eyes about doing what you have to do to survive. Knowing you got to do what you got to do to survive out here. But she does. She didn't want. She said she didn't want your help. She asked Rosita. He's all like, "I can help you." You know, this is like, dude, I understood what you were saying. All right. Now, you shot my husband in the fucking head. Whether he was an asshole or not, that's what went down. That's what happened. The father of my kids. So I'm gonna need you to step back because I kind of don't want to deal with you. Like we can still be friends or whatever, but I need my fucking space because no, you know. Especially since she's looking out for her kids. Look at her kids' perspectives. Like mommy's hanging out with the motherfucker who just killed my father. You know, without a second thought. So I respect Jesse for that. I don't care what anyone says. I respect Jesse for that shit. And I never had too much of an issue with Jesse. My only issue with Jesse was last season. It was like, it was how the way that she came off. It was like, why you keep hanging out with Rick, knowing your husband ain't gonna like that shit? Why the fuck you keep doing that? Like, if I was getting my ass beat by my husband, who be on some drunk shit and possibly some jealous shit a lot and everything, I'm staying far away from the fucking hunky stallion boy, sheriff man who lives a few houses down. I'd be like, you know what? I ain't fucking with you no more. Because I'm trying to save myself and my fucking kids at this point. But, again, I probably went way too long on this fucking topic. Oh, as I was saying, I was trying to say that Jesse, I think I cut myself off and went to something else. But, well, as I was saying that Jesse, she's still going to do what she got to do to try to survive and make sure her kids survive. Like she said, Rosita's going to teach me. I'm going to teach my kids and all that other stuff. I don't, need you personally to help me. Thank you for opening my eyes, but I can get help elsewhere because this shit ain't cool. I am digging the possible Sasha and Abe friendship. Now, originally I had thought about Michonne and Abraham having some goofy ass friendship. I think I even made a Tumblr post about it. Like, like I would even read a fanfic one shots of just Michonne and Abraham just sitting on the roof getting drunk in each one shot and just talking about whatever. You got Abraham's personality and you got Michonne's. I think it would mesh really well as a friendship. But the Sasha and Abraham thing, I think it could work really well as well. What the fuck? I think it would work pretty good as well. I'm glad Sasha, mine is clearing up. I have to say I'm really glad about that because, I'm sure, she's still gonna have her off moments. Kind of like the way Michonne did when she went to go try to save Sasha in the woods, and she had that, that PTSD, like, came back super strong with her, and it was like, I need this, So she understood, with Sasha. I think that's still going to happen with Sasha every now and again. But, for now, she seems to be back to her old self, in a sense. She's trying to get back to the Sasha who was, the logical one, the realist, and all this other stuff. I love the character Sasha, I always have. Yeah, I'll talk about her later on as well. And her relationship with Abraham, like I said, I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic because, the way, what the fuck I'm looking up there for? The way Abraham is coming off, he's being this reckless guy, which Abraham kind of always was in a sense, but he always had, like in season 4, we saw him have fun, the way when he killed walkers, like it's kind of a game to him. And he's a risk taker, and it kind of like, I think Abraham finds like a kindred spirit when it comes to Sasha. So I'm very curious the way this dynamic is gonna work out. We saw a bit of it, last season when she was all depressed and everything. Like he tried to give her a drink, and then she was like, fuck you, like leave me the fuck alone. And it was like he's trying to look out for a friend. She's like, homie, we ain't friends. So I like the way this is turning back, and I like the way he's looking out for her. Like he's been worried about her, and I like that. I mean, somebody gotta be. Okay, I guess next I should talk about Nicholas and Glenn. Now, now with Nicholas and Glenn, this is another dynamic. Like there's a lot of dynamics that I'm really enjoying that they are setting up this season, and that I'm really enjoying. A lot of people say Nicholas hasn't redeemed himself. I do love the way like Nicholas is kind of like this eager puppy now when it comes to Glenn, because he's someone else who opened his eyes and woke the fuck up, and I appreciate, and that's what, he's far behind. You got these people at Alexandria, they're so far behind, like when it comes to this shit, like Team Family's already been through this. We've already seen this, but that's why I think fans get frustrated with these characters. But you gotta remember, think about the season 1 and 2 when the characters were stupid. Well, we now perceive them as being stupid as fuck and not paying attention and just making so many fucking mistakes, and their egos and shit like that just getting in the way of dumb shit. These Alexandrian people are at that point, and they're like getting more season between season 2 and season 3, where they're in transition stage. They gotta transition now. I had to give it up to Nicholas that he stepped the fuck up, and I'm glad he did. Glenn felt that he wasn't ready, but when is anybody ever ready? That's the thing about that I understood where Rick was coming from. Like, these people aren't ready, but we gotta make them ready. But thing I don't like didn't like about Rick's thing, and I guess that's the dynamic with Morgan came in as well. Rick was trying to do this whole, I don't know how the fuck I end back up talking about Rick again. But the thing about Rick, he's trying to throw them in the fucking ocean. And by that I feel like, Rick is kind of like someone who had to survive. He got stranded in the middle of the fucking ocean, but he didn't know how to swim, so he had to quickly learn how to fucking swim to survive. And he just been chilling in the ocean this whole time trying to find land, and he finally finds land, but he's on an island with a bunch of people who don't know how to fucking swim. So what he's trying to do is just throw a bunch of people of like, that's how I learned how to swim. So because he had no other choice. But there are options. You don't just take these fucking people who don't know how to swim and just throw them in the fucking ocean to make them like either you sink or fucking swim and tough shit. Like, no, like you can build them up to it because you had the option to be able to. You just can't, like, they have more privileges and options than you did. So take advantage of them. Don't just throw them to the fucking wolves, so to speak. I just made that up. But don't throw them to the wolves, so to speak, just because that's what, this fucked up life has done to you. I'm saying, there are ways and there are ways. Okay? And Rick Grimes tends to do shit the unfortunate way. Who was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Nicholas and Glenn. But I'm liking the way this is going. I'm glad that he's stepping out. I get the feeling he's gonna die, though. I actually don't want him to die. But it's probably gonna happen. Just like I think Jessie is gonna fucking die. I just think that's how it's gonna go. Like, she's gonna step up, but she's gonna get caught. Let's just with this fucking herd coming. She may be willing to step up, but she is not ready. And especially not to something of this fucking magnitude. If it was just a few got in, then she got ready with the wolves. Like, she went in. Oh, that's the next episode. But I'm just gonna say here, I'm proud that Jessie, she went in and did what she had to do, and actually show, how to actually stab somebody with a pair of fucking scissors. I'm not gonna name any names about which character I'm talking about. I'm just saying you how to kill somebody with a pair of fucking scissors correctly. What was I talking about, Nicholas and Glenn again? But anyways, I guess I can skip it because I guess I already said my piece about Nicholas and Glenn. And I don't want Nicholas to die, but I think he is going to die. But I hope he steps into the plate, which is what he's in that transition stage. Is what I was saying. Kind of like the other characters, they are now like Team Family had to go through, in the first first couple seasons, going through that transition phase. Now, I guess I should bring up the fact that there's a lot of fans who seem to believe that Michonne and Morgan kind of felt some type of way about Rick killing Carter. Like felt something about towards Rick. I don't think it was anything that. Now, me personally, I don't think it was anything. Ill feelings towards Rick. Morgan wanted to bury Carter, and Rick was like, "There's no time. We gotta get the fuck out." It was kind of like a fuck Carter. That's probably not the way he. The kind of way he came off. It was kind of like, "Fuck Carter. We gotta go." Like, and I understand that. I absolutely understand that shit. And people think that, like I said, Morgan and Michonne felt some type of way towards Rick about not only killing Carter. Like, did you miss what they said? They said, Morgan said, I understand, like this has to be done. But it doesn't mean they can't have feelings about it. Like, they just wish, in my opinion, they know shit has to be done. They just wish they didn't have to do it. And I guess there may be a little bit feelings towards Rick about it because Rick comes off like he doesn't have feelings about it. Like, he has no feelings about killing people whatsoever anymore. And he has no remorse in a sense. And that could be what people was thinking. And I think there may be a hint of that, but I think for the most part, it's just about their own emotions and internal thing that, like I said, to me, it's more about them knowing, like I said, they know they have to do this. It's the fact that they do have to do this is why they was looking and just hurt the way they were. Especially in the fact that they live in a fucking community now. Things should change somewhat. It's not survival of the fittest anymore. At least it shouldn't be, and yet they're right back out there in the wild, and another man down. Now, I guess I can transition into the episode JSS. Now, I did enjoy Enid's backstory, with the lead up to her ending up in Alexandria. It's possible, like, there's always been that speculation, is Enid part of the wolves. There's still that possibility, like, that part could have been cut out. And although I think maybe they put it in the next episode or next time we see Enid. Because it was interesting, she did have the keys, so that could have been a possibility of a way that they got in. I noticed that. I was like, wait, why the fuck does she have keys? So it's still that possibility, but this little girl having to survive on her own the way she did was definitely interesting to see. Like, she's this teenage girl, and she had to witness her parents getting killed right in front of her, and she had to sit there and watch that. And, her, going all Daryl and eating raw animal and stuff like that. That can't be sanitary, by the way. Like, I was saying, like, ew. You know how many, like, things that, like, in those type of animals is, like, you might want to find, like, a lighter or some shit. Like, just build a small fire or something in a car or just something. Do Girl Scouts do shit like that? Like, learn how to build fires? Or is that just the Boy Scout thing? Or, I don't know shit about that. But anyways, like I said, there's that possibility that she could have still been part of the wolves, like, on her way to the wolves. Because, when she showed up to Alexandria, she kind of looked like she could have passed as one of the wolves. The way she looked. And, or maybe that was supposed to be part of the comparison about this little girl could have easily been, I guess one of the wolves. Who knows? I think there was supposed to be a comparison with the wolves and Carol for sure, with her in disguise as one, and it shows how much, Carol has changed and what she's become. Like Rick, she has this ability to kill, but it's not as cold. It's hard to explain the Carol thing, but I guess I'll get to that at another point. But anyway, back to Enid. It's interesting to see the point where not only this little girl has to learn to survive, but is it possible that it's still that possibility to me that she could be part of the wolves, and that could be part of why she left. Like, she had some form of regret, maybe. I'm still worried about the keys. Like, why did she have that big thing of keys? And how did these people get in without nobody seeing? Like, when old dude Sorry, when the dude like just rolled up on the lady that was smoking a cigarette, I was like, oh shit! Like you see my reaction with it, I was bugging, cause I was like, what the fuck just happened? It like came straight from a horror movie. I could name some horror movies that like do something like that. That type of jump scare. Oh, can we talk about Carol and the smoking lady? Why is Carol thugging on these Susie homemakers like that? It's like, oh, you can get da-da-da-da, but you know, when you start smoking in your house, how the fuck you gonna tell somebody what they can and can't do in their own motherfucking house? What, bitch? No. Why are you trying to like thug on, like low key thug on these fucking Susie homemakers, and then just like, oh shit, she's one of them you gotta remember, she's one of them outside motherfuckers, so who knows what she about? But it's like, Carol, stop. Just stop. Like, it's getting to the point where it's just getting ridiculous at this point. Which I had to say is to the I think that at my point is the writer's fault, and I do have some stuff to say about Carol. Should I get to that now? Yeah, I think I'll say something about that now. Now, I will admit that I did like this episode. JSS, I liked first time again. Also, I got mentioned the black and white was done very well, and people was like, why didn't they just do chronologically or in order? It would have been better. I was like, no, because they did that on purpose to make this distinct comparisons between, you know, what was going on in the black and white moments to what was happening in the current moments. You know, so it was making the distinct. I like the way it was done. Like the part where Rick was like, tell Morgan's like he gonna die anyways, and sure enough, the next clip he had to die. He was like he's gonna die sooner. He's gonna die soon anyways. But anyways, back to JSS. I do like this episode, but I will say this. I think I say that a lot. But I will say this, that Carol, I know a lot of people's like, yeah, Carol, I like Carol. Don't get me wrong. I like Carol. It's the Super Carol it's come to the point where Super Carol is bothering me. Because it's over the top. I feel like it's over the top. And don't get me wrong, I like that Carol, you know, she's a character who gets shit done. But I think I was kind of hoping, at least for, you know, 6A, that Carol would be a little more background character in a sense, because you have all these characters, and Carol's had has had major storylines, big storylines since these past 4 and 5, and I'm pretty certain she's gonna have one in this season as well. But there's so many characters who gets no story arc, or very little story arc, and like characters like Michonne you don't get much backstory or stuff with Michonne, who is one of the biggest characters in the show. You got Rosita and Tara, who's been here since season 4, and they haven't gotten shit, you know. So it's like, can we please get some stuff with these characters? You know, Sasha had a little thing last season, but there was a lot of fans who didn't care about that, and it was like, okay. And it's another reason that bothered me in concerning this episode. To me, this should have been a Maggie episode. Now hear me out. Pretty sure we could all agree that Maggie hasn't had much shit to do since season 3. Same as Daryl, actually. But somehow Daryl is always in the fucking forefront. To me, Daryl and Maggie's in the same boat. They both had their... And they should have added more... Maggie could have so much story. Like, the strain of, you know, this relationship with the apocalypse. And I know people don't want, you know, Glenn and Maggie to be all about their relationship and stuff. But, also I think Maggie's pregnant. Just gonna put that out there. If she's not, she's not. Then she is, then congratulations. Because I know that bitch personally. The thing about Maggie, you know, it's the writers are not giving her shit to do, really. Like, people was blowing about her looking for Glenn and all this other shit. And it's like, whatever. I understood where Maggie was coming from. Because let's be real. I would have thought Beth was fucking dead too. It's not, I don't give a fuck how much of a fan of Beth. You cannot tell me you would have thought, damn, because she wasn't on the fucking bus like she was supposed to be, and she wasn't still at the prison. I would have been like, damn, that motherfucker dead. Who has the better chance of survival, in my opinion, Glenn or Beth? I'm going with Glenn. And she knew, she had an idea of where the fuck Glenn was at, and Beth was kidnapped. Like, what the fuck and don't know where that bitch was taken at. So what the fuck Maggie was supposed to do with that shit? But concerning Beth, when Beth died, I think they could have touched like this. They spent too much on Daryl concerning that. I was like, no, put more focus on Maggie. When concerning Beth's death, that was her fucking sister. That was her last surviving, family member. But that was her last bit of family. She has Glenn, that's her husband. She just lost her little fucking sister. Why are we worrying about Daryl burning himself with the fucking cigarette? Like, no, we don't have time for your shit. The main focus should have been Maggie and Sasha. That should have been main focus. Daryl and what's that boy? Noah could have had some focus further back. But Daryl shouldn't have been as close up front with his grievance as he was, in my opinion. Because, yeah, he was all, I gotta say Beth, he had his little friendship with Beth, and it was like, yeah, but that was Maggie's sister. Fuck out of here. But anyways, maybe I should talk about why I think this should have been a Maggie episode. Get to the point of what I'm trying to say. Maggie is, I think the writers are trying to shape Maggie into this leadership role. That's why they made her second to Deanna last season. And we see her and Glenn telling, Maggie, keep on her, she needs her strength, and I need you, put that strength back into Deanna to keep her held up because the community needs her. And we saw Maggie trying to do that this episode in JSS. Now, Maggie, what reason I said this should have been a Maggie episode, one, too much Carol. We get the big Carol, super Carol shit, every now and again. It's like, can we hold back on that shit? Yes, Carol and Morgan, they could have been doing their thing. But there was other people in this fucking episode is what I'm saying. And this could have been a Maggie episode. Maggie's being shaped with leadership. She's under Deanna. Because if something happens to Deanna, Maggie can have the opportunity to take over. Now, I know about the comments and shit like that, but I'm not talking about that shit in here. I'm talking about the show. And my thing is, since, Deanna was very incompetent with the situation that they was in, this could have been a perfect opportunity for Maggie to step up and trying to, handle, the situation with, giving out orders, people, go to your homes, breaking into the armory, or, could have been like, Carol, hey, can you get to the armory? I need you to, get some, weapons, and do what, she could have taken a leadership role, and I think this episode, to me personally, needed. We didn't just need, a 45-minute of the Carol show. It's like, no, the Carol Morgan show. It was like, and I get and I guess they was going with the Carol Morgan comparison, these two extreme characters, and the comparison towards each other, deal with each other, and that's a dynamic I think they're gonna put further. I liked how the premiere, Morgan straight up was like, bitch, you ain't fooling me, but he didn't do it like that, but because he generally thought oh, and he was like, oh, I think I figured out what you're doing, bitch. But my thing is, like I said, could have been a Maggie episode. Maggie is supposed to be shaping up to be this leader. They should have gave this episode the opportunity, because all the big hitters were gone. Well, not all of them, but majority of the big hitters, like your Rick, your Abraham, Michonne, I guess your Daryl, and Sasha. I'll talk about this in a second. But yeah, this should have been Maggie's. This could have been her episode to step up, because we know, I'm sorry, but Maggie. We know Maggie could do shit. We know Maggie can kill a motherfucker. She did it. We seen her do that shit in season 3 when she stabbed old dude in the neck because Glenn was Maggie can kill a person. We've seen her do it. If it's a necessary thing and it's a life and death situation, and which, the wolves attacking the community was, she could have easily been capping motherfuckers. The only shit that Maggie did was talk to Deanna and look confused as fuck at Carol. It was like, Carol, what the fuck? It was like, because Carol was on her wolf get up, and that's all Maggie did. You also had Rosita in this episode. Rosita could did some more shit. We could have seen more. My thing is, we could have seen more of the fight with the characters besides Carol and Morgan. Is what I'm saying. And like I said, Maggie episode, I think I was saying the same. I'm looping myself, I think. But I don't know if I'm getting what I'm saying to come out. But anyway, post your comment about like I said, this is my thoughts and opinions. If you have something else to say, some other thoughts, then comment down below. Like, we ain't gotta agree on everything. That's not what this relationship is. I'm just me saying my shit. Also, I love the fact that they did have more, because I was waiting for it. You see it in my reaction video. I was after Morgan faced the brownish, dirty, blonde-haired wolf that he met, that tried to sneak attack him before, and I was wondering, is he gonna see the long-haired one? And like right, I was saying it like he was right there, and I was like freaked out. I was like, oh, okay. But Morgan, I'm pretty sure he killed him. I'm pretty certain of it. Now, I didn't watch The Talking Dead for this episode, so I don't know what things were discussed already. So if I'm saying anything that was already discussed on Talking Dead, tough shit. But I'm thinking Morgan killing that wolf. I think that's gonna change something within him. That the fact that he had to go that far to do that. As we all know, the Walking Dead verse, how drastically, things can change with, the situation, the characters. Like, the Comic-Con trailer, like, we pretty much, everything in the Comic-Con trailer is pretty much already been seen and done. Except, the rest might be in the next episode, So, and we still got, it's 8 episodes in the first half of this season, so we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen by the time, this happens. Carl, Enid, Ron, teenage butthurt, teenage angst. I can understand where Ron's coming from. He's already going through enough shit as is, and the fact that his girl is all in Carl's house. Hey, even in, even in the zombie apocalypse, shit seems suspect, and we know they weren't doing anything, or the fact that Enid wasn't going to him for help instead of Ron. Like, he could probably feel some type of way that oh, his girl, whatever, he doesn't, he can't get shit done in more ways than one. Right now I just want to do a little topic about these characters in leadership, and who, in my opinion, who has it and who has certain type of roles that they can produce in the dynamic of the show. Leaders who I see as currently as leader characters. Obviously Rick, Michonne for sure, Abraham, and Glenn. Those 4 characters currently I see as leaders. At least the top leaders of Team Family and possibly this community. People were like, what about Daryl? No, I don't see Daryl as a leader. Maybe, and he's not dead in a couple seasons, and he's still progressing, and he's still giving up progress. Yeah. To me, right now, he's the one, the one that gets shit done, which is people like, why isn't Carol part of your leader list? Because right now, I don't look at her as a leader. I look at her as someone who gets shit done. 2 different types of get shit done between Daryl and Carol. But get shit done nonetheless. Potential leaders, of course, I have to say Maggie. I will also say, because one, she's training under Deanna. I'm pretty sure she was a member of the council. So clearly she has and she can give orders, and she can command things, and she can. I think Maggie. My point is, I think Maggie would be a great leader. Sasha is another one who has the potential to be a great leader as well, in my opinion. She has this great leadership quality. She's logical and she's a realist, and she's both of those things, which something that to me I think she's the most real. She's a realist. That's her role. She's been like that since season 3, and we saw more in season 4. Like let's be real, let's be realistic, and let's be. She's logic. She's the logic person in the group, in my opinion. And like back in season 3, even though Tyrese was in charge of that small group, Sasha was the one, in a sense, that was kind of giving. Sasha was, I guess you could say, was the one who was really in charge. I also want to say how I hope they don't ruin the character Morgan. I like the way he is now, but I hope they don't use Morgan to try to boost up Super Carol even more. I kind of feel like they kind of was doing that, even though I love the dynamic and everything, whatever. But I kind of feel like they was doing that. Like they kind of did with Tyrese. Tyrese, it felt like when they paired him up with Carol, it kind of feel like they made him even more soft, in a sense. And I hope they don't do that with Morgan. Like, no, like don't do that. In season 3 and season 4, Tyrese wasn't necessarily, well, at least the first, he wasn't necessarily a soft character. He was a man who still had a lot of his humanity, but I didn't look at him as a soft guy. And it kind of like when they paired him up with Carol, there's like they made him soft, more and more soft. Like he couldn't get shit done. It was like, no, we've seen Tyrese was able to do shit, even though he has the issue with humans. But it's like they made him like super soft, and it's like, can we not do that? Like you couldn't kill, like I can't kill this walker, and Carol's like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Click. It's like, no. I hope they don't do that shit with Morgan, because that kind of seems like who they might be pairing her up with. As we've seen, the first the premiere in this episode here. I guess it's supposed to be like this compare and contrast, but maybe some sort of friendship. But yeah, I think Rosita has the potential to be someone who gets shit done. I think so. I don't know about leadership. I won't say leadership. I think she may have been Abraham's Daryl, in a sense. Like we saw her trying to, go against Abraham. Like I was talking about Daryl going to disagreeing with Rick, and how he usually falls back when Rick be like, "This is the plan. This is what we're doing," and he just shut the fuck up and mope about it, or like just follow Rick's orders. I think that was kind of Rosita in season 4 and 5. No, I say more 5, when it was on their way to Washington. Like when Rosita wanted to take a break, because that's how everybody else felt, and she thought it herself. Abraham was like, "We don't fucking stop." And so when everybody else was talking, she was like, "We don't fucking stop." That's not the exact words. I'm just filling in the fucking blanks. I can't remember everything. But yeah, that's how I feel. She may be, so she's a potential get shit done. Someone else who has I think has the potential is Tara. Only thing about Tara though, that girl is so. Oh, by the way, I'm glad Tara's awake. Thank you. Thank you about being awake. Because I love Tara. She's adorable and funny. Oh shit. But yeah, the only thing about Tara is she's very accident prone, and I don't know if that's a running joke with the writers, that she's always busting her ass, and like she gets more and more hurt every time something happens. Between getting shoved down and something about to hit her and she sprains her ankle getting trapped, or ending up in a fucking coma. Like it's like the next step is death. It's like each time it escalates. So I'm worried about Tara. I hope she doesn't die this season. I love me some Tara, and I know the actress is pregnant, but so is Shanika Green Martin. Shanika Martin Green. I don't know how to Shaniqua. The chick that played Sasha, she was pregnant last season, and so they was able to work with that. So hopefully they'll be able to do the same with Tara, because they can't work Tara's pregnancy into the storyline because Chick's a lesbian. So unless some shit goes down that we don't know about, and which could be a very dark storyline, and is all I'm saying. But yeah, Tara is very accident prone, so I'm actually worried about her dying this season. Eugene, um, I think he has the potential to be a get shit done person, not necessarily in a fight, but in other ways, because he has the thing that no one else has. He has knowledge. You know, he may not be able to get shit done physically, but he has knowledge like a motherfucker. He's not a scientist, he just know things, like you said. So I'm hoping, he has the potential to be a get shit done person. And I guess last is, if I'm missing somebody, then let me know in the comments. I'll probably throw them in the next video. But you got Father Gabriel. Now, I know Father Gabriel gets a lot of shit, but I always felt for Father Gabriel. He was a character, and I feel for a lot of these characters. Maybe that's just the way I am. I'm able to see people's perspective on things. Like, I get it. And Father Gabriel was a character I understood. I understood why he did the things he did, because he was a man who was a fucking afraid. Was it okay that he did what he did? No. But I understood why he did it. And what I liked about Father Gabriel, these past couple episodes, like Nicholas, he's a man who's trying to step up. And like when he tried to step up with he like, I volunteer when nobody else was volunteering. People, there was probably a couple volunteers, and Father Gabriel was like, I'll volunteer. I'm willing to step up and help out. But Rick was like, no. And I understood why Rick did that. But like, don't be butthurt, man. Just like, you need all the help you can fucking get. But I appreciated him even more in the JSS episode, with him actually going to Carl and apologizing, letting him know that I understood that what you was saying back at the church. That when Carl was trying to teach him how to do shit, and he didn't really want to hear it. And him going to him is like, I want you, he's coming to him is like, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I know I have to do what I have to do now. Like I said, Father Gabriel is in that transition stage. All these characters are in that season 1, season 2 transitional stage, or between season 2 and season 3 transitional stage. You realizing like, we are in the shit now. Like, we understanding now, and the shit, we gotta do what we gotta do. We have to get shit done. Like Jesse's in her transitional stage. Father Gabriel's now in his transitional stage. Nicholas is in his transitional stage. So is Deanna. These characters are in their transitional stage. I think if Carter didn't die, he would have been, in his transitional stage. But I appreciate that Father Gabriel went to Carl and was like, I want you to teach me. And even though Carl was kind of salty, he didn't. And that's what I like about Carl. I respect the hell out of Carl. Y'all can still talk shit about Carl if you want to. It's like, why y'all still stuck in some shit he did like, 4 seasons ago? Like, get the fuck over it. The boy is grown into a man. He's I can't even describe what the fuck that boy is at this point. But there's a lot of respect that I got for him about the way he do shit. Like, cause he could have been salty, like, fuck out of here, fuck boy priest, and he did it. He was just like, you might want to say a lot of shit to everyone else. First of all, and second of all, meet me at 3 o'clock. He could have been petty as fuck. He could, like I said, he could have been like, fuck you. I hope you fucking die. That type of shit. But he's at the point where he's not petty. He's not going to be petty, and that's another thing I respect for Carl. He's not going to be petty about this priest talking shit. He's like, this, he gets it, and this man needs his help. And the fact that this man came to him with the respect of asking for his help, then yeah, he's going to provide it for him. So I appreciate Father Gabriel for stepping up and realizing that he does need help in this world. And the way he went about things were not okay. He understands that. And Carl stepping up, he's stepping up in his role. So this video probably is going to be way longer than I anticipated by the time I edit this all up. But, comment down below what you think of my thoughts. What are your thoughts of the first 2 episodes? Like, comment, subscribe, share. share. I truly appreciate if you do. I do reactions for The Walking Dead. I did it for Fear the Walking Dead as well, but I do those. I don't do the video within the video type of thing because I don't I need to get the new software for it. So right now it's just the audio for it. But but hopefully I will be getting that soon or the next few months or so. The link to my Tumblr will be in the description. If there's, something about The Walking Dead or questions you would like for me to discuss for next time, because I don't know if I'm going to do 2 episodes. I'll do a video on 2 episodes at a time, or I'll probably do that because it'll probably be easier for me, or do one for each episode. So let me know which one would you like me to do. If you have questions, you can inbox me on my Tumblr, or you can comment down below or whatever. So let me know. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you come back. Ashley will, because Ashley can.